The first place that I managed was a pretty standard indoor facility. I think each room was about 15 to 1900 square feet. So not crazy, crazy big. Rolling benches in each room, double ended HPS. Coming into that facility, they were flowering in 5 gallon pots with soil. They had a very low plant count and everything was kind of spread out. They were popping multiple times, training the plants, spreading them through trellis. And we switched that to a smaller 3 gallon cocoa pot and upped the plant count a lot more. We definitely saw a yield increase. And the thing that I learned quickly was that your yield is going to go up if you can put more plants into the room. Your labor cost is going to go down if you're not topping and training and pruning plants every other week. But your environment has to be able to keep up with that extra plant transpiration and the extra amount of water that you're putting through the soil or the cocoa also. The indoor that I did in Massachusetts was pretty much the same. We had two rooms with LED. So that was my first experience with working with LED and having to keep the rooms a little bit warmer and a little bit more humid because the heat from the HPS isn't supplementing the heat in the room. Really, the first crazy facility that I worked at was Flower One. 9 acres is 492,000 square feet. We were putting 10,000 plants into a zone every 2 weeks. The scheduling for that was the hardest for me to kind of wrap my head around at first. Like if you're trying to take 14,000 clones to make 10,000 plants get into a zone, we had 8 people just cutting clones 4 days a week nonstop. Every process that you're doing, including transplanting, we started with moving crops from veg to flower and ended up scrapping that idea and just vegging in the bay because it was so many plants. Figuring out the schedule and the workflow for that when every single process takes like 3 days that was very, very hard for me. In between Flower One and this greenhouse, I worked at a place called Stackhouse here in Nevada, which was an Agrify facility, which are those little pods that they build it was like 172 pods on this 2-story catwalk type setup. In theory, I think it's a genius idea. I think for like microgreens and vegetables, it's an absolutely genius idea. But then when you start putting in multiple different strains of cannabis that grow taller than those pods are actually built, it gets a little wonky. And then the other thing I didn't like about that was each individual pod has its own AC, its own dehumidifier, its own irrigation valves. And so you multiply a normal facility by like 50 times with the stuff that can just break and that you have to fix every single day. I mean, you think about a facility like I'm working in now where each room has irrigation, or we don't have DHU or AC here, but if it was indoor, like each room would have its own AC and DHU. That's only 6 units that you have to worry about. When you get to 172 pods, like something's breaking every single day, trying to keep up with the maintenance on that was absolutely insane.
Man, that sounds like a nightmare.
It,
Yeah, yeah, that's just you just stretched over so much maintenance surface area with
yeah,
that many things. Like you're running a repair business,
yeah,
not a grow at that point.
100%. And even if you're not, even if things aren't breaking and you're not repairing things, just walking through to check on everything to make sure that it's not broken. Like there's almost no time to work on plants, or you need like a whole crew just specifically for maintenance and preventative maintenance.